Hello YouTube, Omega Apex 128 Joshua Beach back with another edition of Josh's Vlog. Now last time when I left you off, I said that we would be covering a console in which only 5 games were made for. A lot of you may have had some time to think about it, and you probably haven't guessed what it is. Needless to say, this has been Mattell's most recent chance to get back into the video game market since they initially started back in the 70s and 80s. When Mattell first hit the scene, as I've already talked about in one of my previous vlogs, they came out with the Intellivision. Later on, they went on to release the Intellivision 2, which was a more slimmer model of the original, and an unreleased Intellivision 3, which is right there, unreleased, and of course the unreleased Intellivision 4. The Intellivision 4, which was, well, Intellivision 3 being the last one, was the most recent console up until 2006, anyway, for Mattel to do any kind of consoles or anything to that effect. Now, of course, when you think of the name Mattel, you're going to think of stuff like, you know, Hot Wheels, Barbie, stuff like that. Mattel's a renowned name. They also helped other companies create some accessories for their consoles. And everybody knows what I'm talking about here in this instance, and that, of course, would be the Power Glove. How could I do a vlog without mentioning the Power Glove? But I already did a whole vlog on that, so this is not what that's about. Anyway, the console that brought Mattel back into the video game market, it was 2006. Their target, 9 to 15-year-old boys. The name of the console? The HyperScan. The HyperScan, like I said, is Mattel's innovative way to get back into the video game market. Of course, they were joining all the other, recent consoles of the time and moving to a CD-based console, as Mattel had always done cartridge-based consoles. It was Atari 2600's competitor, after all. Now, the innovative thing about the HyperScan system is the scanner. It's an RFID scanner, which basically says, for whatever games you played, there came packs of cards. Now, as you can see with these different cards, I have lots of different ones to choose from. Basically, they would help your gameplay experience, whatever it was that you were trying to do. Anyway, before we hit the cards, let me just get this out of the way. As I've said before, the system only had 5 games. Those games were X-Men, the game that the system came with, Ben 10, Interstellar Wrestling League, Marvel Heroes, and Spider-Man. Those were the only 5 games that were released for the system. A 6th game, Avatar: The Last Airbender, was rumored, and it's even said to have come out in small quantities, but personally I've never seen the game surface. Another game that was also talked, a 7th game, Nickelodeon Sports, was also never released. I do think it is ironic how Mattel tried to market the console for, little kids who were 9 to 11 years old, like I said, or however old they were, little kids, little ones. And yet their launch title was rated T by the ESRB. That makes about as much sense as sending a 5-year-old kid to see a rated R movie. Anyway, I don't know whose marketing idea that was, but needless to say, back to the cards anyway. The cards had a silicone base, just like all of the RFIDs have now. There's lots of different RFIDs out there, obviously. We got them in our credit cards. We got them in cell phones. I mean, shoot, we've even got RFID implants in ourselves. So, I mean, that's just one where you may have heard of them. Radio frequency identification devices. So, here's just a few I've got for Interstellar Wrestling League. See, you scan the cards and they help your gameplay experience. This one, for example, increase your power to an intermediate level, so it increases your strength. Let's see here. This one increases your luck. We've got other things that might help the gameplay and everything like that. Here's a weapon, Jacob's Ladder. It says here, climbing this electrical ladder will get shocking results. I can only imagine if it's wrestling, it's probably like a ladder match or something like that, And then there's just all kinds of other characters that you actually scan into the game and have that capability of playing. Which brings me to my controller. The controller, or the system itself, had 2 controller ports, and this was the controller that went with it. It looks promising enough, as you can see. You got your typical joystick, and you've got your 4 buttons: start, pause, L and R's, or L1, L2, R1, R2. It's all there. You can obviously tell it is marketed for a younger group, target group anyway. controller's very lightweight. I mean, it probably breaks no problem or anything like that. And of course, you got red, blue, yellow, and green as the buttons, but you got to be onto something when the actual letters on the buttons correspond to their colors, RYBG. So it's like, when the console came out back in 2006, it actually came out at a price tag of $69.99. The games came out in the jewel cases for $19.99, and then the booster pack of cards, let's see here, you could get booster packs for like $1.99, $2.99 or whatever. I guess their idea is okay to an extent, mainly because you have the ability to play the games and at the same time, I guess you would say, participate in card trading, because then you scan the card in the system and it stores the information on the card. You can increase and unlock features for your different games, but the problem is the marketing strategy. This is probably one of the biggest flops of any game console ever created. At the end of its life, the HyperScan was selling in stores for $9.99. You could pick up games for $1.99, and booster packs were selling for less than 50 cents at retail stores such as Walmart. I mean, that has got to be literally the biggest flop. When you hear the term video game flops, the only things that you could possibly think of would be Atari 5200 or frickin' Philips CDI. Those are flops that you think of when you hear video game flops. But whoever mentions the HyperScan, that's just it. But at the same time, you got to commend the HyperScan. It's extremely popular with homebrew development just because of the RFID scanner. Lots that you could do with it. You got the USB ports on here. You've got typical ports. I find the controller ports a little strange. They're the same as S-Videos. So, I mean, I never really understood that, but it's very popular with homebrew. Think about what you could do if you have your own personal RFID scanner. I mean, give me a break. But needless to say, the console was an utter failure. Will Mattel ever make a console again like the Intellivision? Who knows? Personally, I think it was all downhill after the Power Glove, but if you've seen my vlog on that and you've seen other people do videos on it, you know how much it sucks. Needless to say, though, that's pretty much all the more there is to it. But definitely be sure to tune in next time. We're covering some obscure consoles right now. We took a leap ahead into the 2000 era, but we're going to go back to the 1990s as we cover another obscure console that hit the market back in 1993. It was beautiful, it was CD-based, but the frickin' thing cost $700 in the US market. Any idea what it is? Check it out next time. It's a pretty cool console. And probably, on top of the HyperScan, the #1 homebrew console of all time. Check it out. See you next time on Josh's Vlog.